Stephen, are there any particular reasons that this week in particular we'd see another sharp decline?
No, other than just it's kind of been a terrible week for Bitcoin, and maybe, stocks are doing a little better, so maybe people are moving. But, one thing that was huge in 2018 for Bitcoin, a huge breaking thing, was that there was this concept that Bitcoin was some kind of, port in the storm. It would be a safer asset because of inflation that could hurt the dollar and hurt stocks. And we didn't see that. Stocks fell, Bitcoin fell, it's all connected. It damages one of the main reasons people were buying it for an investment, at least.
Now, Sonny, I know what you're going to say, so I'm just going to put my question this way. How bullish are you still?
Yeah, I'm still long-term bullish. We're seeing all the leading indicators as far as new companies going into space, new employees, new tech people going into space. Businesses are still moving along. I think you're going to see a lot of bad businesses go out of business, though, that built their business around having a price at $10,000.
But you're talking about an $800 billion market that has lost $700 billion in a year.
Right. So some companies are going out of business, but some companies, like you're seeing the traditional ones that are in the Bitcoin space, are still going fine, still hiring a lot of people. And you're seeing the traditional incumbents like a Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, are still launching their products, actually. You just don't know when it's going to happen. Back got delayed again. That could take a couple more months. Nothing moves fast in fintechs with the regulators. But the regulators are making this an asset class that's going to be traded around the world.
Go ahead,
so
Steven.
I had a question because, yes, what I originally said was about the investing, but what about the usage of Bitcoin? Like, that isn't a good sign. That was down 80% on average last year. And so if you think, as some did, some of the Bitcoin bulls, right? They had said, no, you're wrong. And back in 2017, you're wrong. You're looking at this. Look at the growth of usage. If you use a multiple on that, this thing should be worth, I don't know. It should be worth $20,000. Now the usage has gone down 80%. It should be worth maybe $4,000 or less, because now that it's not growing, it should have a lower multiple. Maybe it's worth $2,000. So when you're saying the forward trends, what about usage?
Yeah, so I think, listen, everything built on last year was a little overvalued, overhyped, and all that. And your usage is now starting to catch up a little bit. But again, new products are launching. And again, last year was a total anomaly, actually. And I think you're going to see how these new products launch and what happens, actually, when institutional buyers can actually buy these type of products in a big way. Then I think you'll see demand start coming back.
How can you say last year was an anomaly when this market has only been around for a few years?
Yeah, well, anything that goes up 20x in 1 year or something like that is a pretty big anomaly. And that's why it came back down. And it went up not really based on fundamentals, on a lot of hype. Everyone thought banks were using blockchain. Everyone thought, Ripple was using Bizos. And it turns out not a lot of that was happening yet. It's still far down the road, actually. So when these new exchanges launch, when T0 launches their exchange, things are starting to move in the right direction, but it takes time.
Stephen,
usage,
would you agree?
The usage, the regulatory picture, those things are not working going in the direction of Bitcoin. The image of it as a safe asset, not going in the direction of Bitcoin. So I don't get it. I mean, I think the problem at the heart of Bitcoin has long been that a lot of the usage was illegal goods to make transactions that people thought couldn't be tracked, which it turns out they can be tracked, but there was this thinking that it can't be tracked. And that wasn't talked about, right? And so now that we're seeing the crackdown, that usage is going away, or the assumption is it maybe have to go away, and it hasn't transitioned into a useful currency for legitimate transactions, at least not to any kind of great scale.
Yeah, so that the illegal usage you find, that went away a couple years ago, actually. And for the last 3 or 4 years, people were always unsure about regulations, actually. And this year...
But they're still unsure about regulations.
It's coming.
What regulatory action are you actually expecting this year?
Again, we're talking 3, 4 years ago, we weren't sure if the government was going to make Bitcoin illegal. We're pretty sure that Bitcoin now is legal in America, and they're just regulating it in a way that can be traded properly on exchanges. That was never talked about 2, 3 years ago. That was a big progress that we've made, actually. So where is Bitcoin a safe haven? That's a different story. But at least now Bitcoin is going to be traded in a regular way that institutions can trade properly that they wouldn't have been able to do 2 years ago. So that's a big win when this happens, and it is happening in the right direction.